after this year. Up to Monk in the backcourt. State 80. And we are under David J. Sternwalk in Sacramento, California. It's another chapter of Sacramento against Golden State. A couple of teams inextricably connected by the postseason for the last 2 years in a burgeoning rivalry. Here's Wiggins against Monk. Leaves bound. Golden State coming off a loss of historic field, scores the first field goal of the ball game.
You've seen a lot of those as the resident sack expert. Buddy Hield knocking down a three.
He knows the rims here pretty well. Buddy Hield shooting about 37% from deep on the season. Curry corralled by Sabonis and Murray. Looney inside on the short roll. Good closeout by Monk with 8 on the shot clock. Warriors running their split cuts. Here's Curry. Looney from the short corner. And rebounded by DeRozan. The Sacramento Kings come into this game having won 9 of 11 under interim. And that is Sacramento's favorite song whenever Keegan Murray scores a bucket. Inside to Looney. And Sabonis off the loose ball. Murray for 3. And Payton with the board. Keegan Murray coming off a 4-point game, but he too has seen a little bit of an uptick in his offense since Doug Christie took over. Hield and Curry a little mixed up on the spacing, and Sabonis with the pull.
Doug Christie talked to us before the game, Mark, about the confidence of Keegan Murray and just letting him play a little more free, and actually wants him to smile more. Three-point shooter, air balls. Actually, the guy dribbling right now, I would take him in a three-point shooting contest.
Yeah, you really made us choose. Steph Curry, the all-time leader, off the screen by Payton, which is an illegal screen, and an offense that time.
Yeah, it's kind of an inverse of this Kings team. They're torrid right now. They're healthy. They got a lineup that's working. They got an offense that's working. This guy's knocking down. A lot of the problem has been injuries, Mark.
Tough to win when you're not healthy. Payton off. And we're knotted at 5. DeRozan brings it across. Sacramento playing at a very quick pace. DeRozan, the master of the mid-range, not
doing that for a long time.
Yes. Little light work for DeRozan, one of 3 Kings players averaging over 20 points per game. DeRozan really laying off Payton here, Bob.
Yeah.
Daring him to shoot. Here's that split cut action by the Warriors. Payton in rhythm from deep.
That's play player Gary Payton is really at the 4 mark, but the shot, that's just been the hardest thing for him to kind of figure out in his NBA tenure.
Little pick and pop, good ball rotation. Monk, a little bit strong. Good hustle up from the crash zone by Murray. Sabonis steps through, and it's picked off by Curry. Warriors out and running. They corral Curry. Wiggins for 3, and he lays it.
So much attention on Curry. You know, playing with him, yes, it's sometimes people say there's a pressure to the movement and all that. Open at times. Yeah.
Historically always leads the league in distance covered per game, and a quick release, 23 a game. Sabonis out top. He has so many different ways to run that dribble handoff action. Murray against Curry. Got a little one on him. Ball loose.
But efficiency up and just leadership up, to be honest. He's deferring, but it's actually adding to what DeRozan, Sabonis, and Monk are getting.
One of the NBA's top scorers, and that's going to be a foul again.
And even though the Warriors are a little undermanned, I still see them making a game of this.
Trying to get over 500. Jackson Davis working against Sabonis. It was Looney that got the start tonight, and Sabonis on the rake and take into the front court with pace. Monk to the corner.
Well, that would affect the shot, I would imagine. I mean, and good for him playing through it. It's not easy to play what is going to be the rest of the season. His pinky that you reference is moving. That's not ideal for him.
Talked about it yesterday at practice at the end of the year. Going to try and fix that. Here's Monk out top. Around the Sabonis screen. Out to Murray. And one and done for the Sacramento Kings.
That's the action Steve Kerr wants to avoid. Monk coming off his right hand for that bounce pass to Sabonis, finishing left, and they luckily got out of it. Murray misses that three.
Wiggins steps through, out to Moody. Heel touches paint with the left hand, and rebounded by Sabonis, who leads the NBA in that category. Monk. Malik with a little bit of jelly at the rim, but no finish. What do you make of the pace of this game so far, Bob?
Well, Kings, we talked to Christie before. They're playing faster and they're playing more disciplined. That's ideal. That's what you want. As Curry gets, Kings have been operating on this pace. The Warriors so far are matching them, and now up 7 even. So you got a one, just cut back door, take the easy layup. And they try to get him back. I feel like he's been a
pick up three-quarter court, full court defensively. And now the energy that the Kings are playing with both in the front court and back court defensively seem to match. Curry off the screen. Good show by Sabonis. Now they hit step at midcourt. Pristine ball movement. And Waters couldn't cash out. Here comes Malik Monk, whose playmaking skills are vastly underrated. Guarded by Moody. On the pick and pop to Sabonis. Air ball.
But you know, you mentioned Malik Monk. If you just turned on this game and you're watching, he looks like the point guard, right? He's handling the ball, and I don't know, we talked about, is that by design? He's certainly competent and can do it.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox using his off-ball skills a lot more as Moody, and shot 5 of 9 now from deep to lead by 5. Sabonis on the DHO, Monk downhill. Behind the back, around the world, Sabonis.
What the Warriors want to allow.
Steve Kerr's going to call time. Golden State Warriors. Schroeder out top. Waters off the elbow to Moody for 3. Got it.
Steve Kerr really good at these out-of-bounds plays, ATO they call them after timeout, and Moody just knew what he was going to get, knocks it down.
Monk calling for it against Schroeder. Here's Herter coming off the bench since Monk became a starter. Herter off the mark. And that remains one of the works in progress for Doug Christie. The interim head coach is getting a little bit more production out of the bench. Waters tried to find.
How do you figure out the bench? Because he's been playing the starters, Doug Christie, huge minutes. He doesn't really want to, but he's got to trust his bench a little bit more than he does.
Monk off the zoom action with Sabonis, gets it back for 3 and rebounded by Wiggins. Golden State doing a nice job of keeping Sacramento off the offensive glass. Ellis on Schroeder. And Schroeder
really encouraged him to play with confidence, and you mentioned him starting this year. He's having a career year in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. And De'Aaron Fox said he's a guy that he knows as a leader, he can fuss at, he can get on, he knows that he can challenge him, because at the end of the
defense when he became a starter. And if it's one thing I can tell you about Monk is that you feel his presence in so many different ways, from the court to the practice court to the bus.
And, you know, moving into the starting lineup, I think, gave him even more confidence than he already had.
Can I tell you something, Bob? He scares both coaches.
Well, he's scaring Kerr more than Christie right now, is what I'm trying to say. Yes, there are guys like that, for sure.
Fox with game. De'Aaron has not shot the ball particularly well the last 3 games, but he's coming off a contest with 13 assists. Jackson Davis inside.
They have 3 guys that can score by themselves. You're looking at one right there with Fox. Here's the other one, DeRozan, and Monk can certainly do it. That's a luxury. A lot of teams, that's what the Warriors have struggled with, to be honest. It's really just been Curry, a little bit of Kuminga that can score by themselves.
DeRozan off the DeRozan. Last year, he was one of the top mid-range shooters in the league. Here's Schroeder. Fox switches on to Wiggins. Moody with a high arcing 3, a little bit strong. Jackson Davis out to Schroeder for another one. Great hustle underneath.
Set a tone, and that's what the Warriors are doing, staying competitive. Many men down. They're keeping this a good game up 4.
Moody spins. Ellis with good nail help. Shot clock down to 4. They got to get busy. Jackson Davis. Wiggins at the expiration of the shot clock. And a good stop that time for the Kings as Fox brings it across. Off the drag. Tried to spray it to Lyles. It finally got there. DeRozan with the stare-down jumper. And again, one and done for the Kings at the offensive end. Remember, if you're just joining us, Golden State without Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga, two key cogs for them. Schroeder rebounded by Lyles. Dennis Schroeder still trying to find his whole rhythm with this Warriors team, right?
You know, it's tough. He was playing some of his best basketball of his career with the Brooklyn Nets, obviously different personnel, and Steve Kerr's still trying to figure out, as are Schroeder's teammates, a way to make him feel a little more comfortable. It's hard to get traded. You think it's automatic. It's tough sometimes for players to find that rhythm.
Fox drives it into traffic. 10.6. Wiggins. Jackson Davis splits the screen and they turn it over.